and I'm here to talk to you guys about our favorite governor of all time, Timothy Mother Effing Walz, the GOAT. Obviously, I'm joking when I say he's the GOAT, but some people may take me seriously. Now, we're learning how to invest like Tim Walz. How do you invest like Tim Walz is the greatest question one can ask. Is he the greatest investor of all time? I mean, I believe so. Is he the greatest governor of all time? No. Here's the thing. Tim Walz had no investments. He bragged about it openly that he had. I don't think he had like a 401k, no Roth IRA. I don't even think the dude had a brokerage account. And I think he owns like maybe a house or something like that. But here's the problem with Tim Walz. That is idiocy. That is pure, plain idiocy in a nutshell. Straight up. It is. If you own no assets, like he bragged about not owning any stocks. So you don't want to own any companies that are publicly traded? Are you kidding me? First off, I think if you're a governor, you should be a role model to people. And honestly, Tim Walz, in my opinion, is a crappy role model. He's a bad role model to everybody, to be honest. It's a little cold out here at the moment, but it feels good though. Feels good. I definitely love the cold air. I'm a big boy, so it really doesn't affect me too much. I did some push-ups and I took a shower earlier, so I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, I decided, I was like, well, I want to go out. I want to do the show, obviously. The show that nobody asked for. We're going to talk about investing like Tim. I don't think anybody wants to invest like Tim Walz. And if you want to invest like Tim Walz, you're a moron. Basically, you own nothing. He bragged about owning nothing. Unless he's not disclosing some of the things that he owns, which is a possibility. The guy is a compulsive liar. He tries so hard to seem like the average Joe. He tries so hard, but he's not. He's a swarmy. He's kind of a rat. And say what you want about Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump kind of swarmy? Sure. Absolutely. But Tim Walz, man, he's a fake. He just riddles with fake. Donald Trump, I do feel, is authentic in his pursuit of things. I don't feel like Tim Walz is. Unless Tim Walz is so deluded that he thinks he's telling the truth. That's a possibility. I don't know. The dude reeks of guilt. I look at Tim Walz and I think, dude, you are so freaking guilty. Yeah. That's what I think. I think Tim Walz is well aware of how guilty he is. But yeah, if you want to invest like Tim Walz, I mean, plenty of ways, man. Plenty of ways. Just don't invest in anything. Tim Walz is the perfect example of what not to be in your adulthood. Because, I actually want to be able to, give my stocks away. I want to have a living will. And I think it's not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing to have a living will. I think that the best thing you could teach your kids is that cash is trash and assets should be saved. You gotta save your assets, man. And Tim Walz is a moron. I bet he thinks that being cash rich is smart, and he probably holds a bunch of cash, which cash is not king, by the way. Cash always falls victim to inflation because it's a currency. 2, it's not backed by gold, and 3, the Federal Reserve prints a ton of it. So the idea of saving money, even in a high yield saving, by the way, I don't even like to call cash money. I think that's a disgrace to the term money because it's not real money. Saving cash is stupid. Saving cash is probably the dumbest thing you could do, even in a high yield savings account. It's not financial advice, but it's the truth. Think about it. You're always getting taxed through inflation, right? Inflation is the silent tax. You're getting effed in inflation, right? So the best thing you could do is invest. Investing protects your wealth. Because saving your assets is the key. And then also, I'm a well-diversified investor. I'm a super hyper-diversified investor, straight up. And I think that's the way to do it. You should always be hyper-diversified, in my opinion. One moment. All right, we got a poll going. Is Tim Walz a good investor? Here we go. I'm kind of curious to see what people say on this one, man. This is going to be interesting. Personally, I think Tim Walz is a crackpot, and I don't think he's a good investor. I think he's probably the dumbest man in politics, if we're going to be honest. 50-50 split, okay, all right. But no, I really do think that Tim Walz is probably the most incompetent governor. And the fact that he doesn't have any assets, probably besides his home, it means he's just he's just crappy in all forms of life. He just sucks. Tim Walz is bad. Tim Walz is a crappy investor, in my opinion. Because he doesn't own anything. He doesn't own stocks. He doesn't own gold. He doesn't own real estate. He owns like maybe a house, but that's still the sign of a bad investor. Is somebody who has all of their wealth in their home. That's the sign of a bad investor. If you're not diversified, I think you're stupid. I really do. I think you're the dumbest investor in the world. If you can't even freaking diversify, bro, learn diversification skills. It's not hard. Diversification is really easy. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's all. That's all diversification is. Spreading out your risk. Taking your eggs, putting them in one in this basket, one in this basket, one in this basket. Simple as that. Diversification is not fucking rocket science. It's not fucking nuclear science. It is straight up the simple. Diversification is a simple skill. Don't invest in all your hard-earned cash into one stinking thing. Coca-Cola might be an exception to that rule. Coca-Cola might be. But other than that, dude, diversification is the key, straight up. Yeah, Tim Walz is straight up the worst investor of all time. And it's funny because he, on the campaign trail, he was like so proud. He's like, I don't own any stocks. I don't own any stocks. You know, like, why? Why not? Why not own companies? They're productive assets. They pay you a dividend. I own Coca-Cola, Realty Income. The sad part is I'm a better investor than Tim Walz. And I think the reason Tim Walz doesn't invest is because I don't think he wants a paper trail. Think about it. With all the fraud that just happened in Minnesota, how involved was Tim Walz behind the scenes? Because if he was to take that money he was getting, allegedly, and putting it into the markets, there would be a paper trail. So maybe that's why Tim Walz doesn't invest. I don't know. He doesn't want there to be a paper trail. I don't know. I can't see any logical reason not to be in the markets. I mean, good for you if you own a home, but shame on you for being stupid enough to hold cash. Shame on you for being stupid enough to hold cash. When cash is trash, we're barely holding on to the reserve currency status of the world. I am consistently in the markets for very, very, very good reason. Better to invest. It's always better to invest. And I'm not going to lie. I make sexy money playing the volatility of the VT. VT is not the only ETF I have. I have plenty of other ETFs. But VT is the one that I actively trade. Everything else is buy and hold. But yeah, I'm a better investor than Tim Walz. Tim Walz is honestly a village idiot who somehow kissed ass all the way up to the governorship. I don't like Tim Walz. Tim Walz might be he is an incompetent boob. Guys like Tim Walz are incompetent boobs. He's incompetent. I don't like him. I think he was probably the worst vice presidential pick you could ever run with. That was probably the worst ticket ever. Harris and Walz, make incompetency great again, was what their slogan should have been. I don't know. I would like to see... first off, I think Israel and Palestine are both crappy countries. I don't want the U.S. to be involved with either of them. If we're going to be honest, I'm not a fan of Israel, not a fan of Palestine. I would much prefer we stay out of those, quite frankly. But yeah, no, I'm a Trump fan though. I really am deep down a Trump fan, and yeah, I would rather have Trump as president. Of course you do. Here's the thing though, I think Trump is actually highly competent, and Tim Walz is highly incompetent. Kamala Harris is highly incompetent. Joe Biden, definitely incompetent. I mean, if there was to be a war of competency versus incompetence, then first off, Tim Walz is the greatest incompetent governor of all time. I love how incompetent he is. I love the fact that he brags about not having really any net worth. And I hate it when people say I hate it when people imply that there's nobility in poverty. There is no nobility in poverty. I'm sorry. There is zero nobility in being impoverished. If your net worth consists of cash in the bank, you're a shitty investor. And you're not a good adult. Cash in the bank is, even in a high yield savings account, is stupid. Because even the high yield savings account, you're not keeping up with inflation at all. You got to do what the bank does, not what the bank tells you to do with your money. Not financial advice, by the way. Because the bank is, honestly, I think that the tellers at the bank don't know any better because they've been brainwashed by the bank themselves. But the tellers at the bank are going to tell you to do some really stupid shit with your money. Like buy a house. I think buying a house is probably the stupidest thing in the world. I really do. Yeah, Hamas is terrible. No, but I can't stand Hamas. I can't even stand Palestine overall as a country. I can't stand Israel. I don't stand behind either. Just as a FYI to everybody. I don't pick sides on those. I don't even like the whole war in Ukraine, by the way. I think Russia's a bunch of douchebags. I think Ukrainians are a bunch of douchebags. Just stop, we should not be involved in these wars because it's basically Russians fighting Russians. Let's just not candy coat it. Ukraine is basically Russia. Let's not candy coat it. All right. People acting like they're really that different. They're just different countries. The people are basically all the same. You know what I'm saying is true, though. No, I'm not a fan of these S-hole countries going to war with each other. Grow up. Grow the F up, man. We should stop promoting war and start discouraging it on a massive scale. Really. The war between Russia and Ukraine, wholly idiotic. Wholly idiotic. Completely. Yeah. I think the war in Ukraine and Russia is dumb. To be quite honest. I really do. I think it's the dumbest war of all time, man. I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm trying not to. I don't want to see innocent people die, though. That's the thing. I think the thing that sucks the most about any sort of war is innocent people dying. Nobody wants that. Except for, obviously, shitty oligarchs and terrible people. Terrible people want that to happen. Yeah, you're right. You can't just stop wars through rainbows and butterflies. Absolutely. Really? Hold on. Yeah. But yeah, no, you can't really stop wars. Obviously, you just can't just go in there and be like, I'm going to stop this war. No, you can't. Obviously. Woo! But yeah, no, Tim Walz is a terrible investor. The fact of the matter is he doesn't own any stocks. He brags about it. Why? Why would you brag about being an incompetent boob? I think it's like my dad. My dad brags about the fact that he's going to live off Social Security for the rest of his days. Instead of actually, he could have retired a lot earlier, but instead he was done with his money and he tried to keep up with the Joneses, always trading in his car for another one. Like a moron. And, you know, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. I hate it when incompetent people think they're competent. That pisses me off even worse. Stop it. Thank you, my brony brother. Thank you. I think it'd be pretty cool if we got Greenland, to be honest. I'm okay with Greenland, man. Let's get Greenland. I'm fine with that. The question is, though, is Tim Walz a good investor? And make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. We got 12 votes on this poll. 75% of you say no. 25% of you say yes. I love it. Oh, wow. Thank you guys for taking the time to vote on this poll, though. This is hilarious. I just want to make sure that this is actually something that people can click on. Yeah, I think so. I think that works. But yeah, Tim Walz is one of the worst investors I've ever seen. And I think that people should call him out for being a bad investor. And it sucks. He's a bad governor. Most of his family, on one side of his family, can't stand the dude. Literally to the point that they voted for Trump instead of Walz. I think Tim Walz is one of those creeps that has a lot of skeletons in his closet. And I really do believe he needs to be investigated. He should never have been governor. An incompetent boob like Tim Walz should have never been the governor. And some people are just so good at kissing ass. Because they're good at kissing ass, incompetent people think that kissing ass is not only a sign of respect, but a sign of competence. Incompetent people don't know what competence looks like. So, reason is, stupid asses like Tim Walz end up rising up in the ranks, right? Because he's really good at flattery. He's really good at kissing ass and coming up with excuses to make himself look good. It's up, dude. It's up, and people want this fraud to resign. And Tim Walz, in my opinion, is one of the worst governors I've ever seen of any state. I mean, I thought Tina Kotek sucks. I really did. I thought Tina Kotek does suck. She's our governor here in Oregon. But Tim Walz, man, he's on another level of suckage. Kitty City says, well, his approval rating is higher than Trump's. Okay. Who the hell is voting in those polls? It's probably leftists. By the way, who is rating this? By the way, is this like a CNN poll where they sent like 100 liberals a survey? Because if you send 100 liberal surveys, obviously they're going to say that Tim Walz is the man, because most liberals are incompetent to begin with. They don't understand finance. They don't understand how to invest. It's stupid. And the problem is when you have people who are incompetent, they just don't know what competence looks like. That's the problem. The Economist, okay, which is probably read, I don't know, by a bunch of leftists. I don't know. Why would people approve of what Tim Walz is doing? Tim Walz should have like a near 0% approval rating. Go to Minnesota right now and talk to all the Minnesotians, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them are going to say, thank God that fraud Tim Walz is stepping down. He's not resigning yet. He should resign, though. Tim Walz, you need to resign, buddy. You are, first off, he is a problem. And first off, it doesn't take a lot to make the Democrat Party look bad, because they're rife with scandal and incompetence, and they believe that socialism and communism are good ideas. It's moronic. Anybody who thinks that socialism and communism are good ideas are morons. They're flat out morons. There's no other way to put it. They're not effective ideas. They're ancient as dirt. They've been tried multiple times. They fail every time because it doesn't incentivize human beings to do anything. I'm cooking, man. I'm cooking. I'm going to walk around for a second. My ass is kind of wet, but I dried off the bench a little bit. The bench is a little wet. Hold on. Oh, my underwears. But no, Tim Walz is a total incompetent boob. Probably one of the most incompetent men I've ever seen. And he should be called out for being incompetent, by the way. There's no shame in calling out a dude for being wholly incompetent, right? Yeah, I need to drink some water, I know. I'm a little dehydrated. But yeah, no, Tim Walz is serious. I am a more competent investor than Tim Walz. The fact that he brags, the fact that he bragged about not owning any stocks is proof positive the dude's an irresponsible boob. The guy's an irresponsible moron. I don't watch Fox News. Fox News is for losers. MSNBC is for losers. CNN is for losers. I don't watch the mainstream media. But no, I really do think that Tim Walz is probably one of the worst governors I've ever seen. He is. He's a bad governor, man. But no, Tim Walz if Tim Walz was actually a good investor, seriously, if Tim Walz was a great investor, what would he be doing? He would own stocks. He would own gold. He would own at least multiple pieces of real estate or something. Instead, the dude's an incompetent boob, is all I'm trying to say. And the sad part is most Democrats these days don't know the difference between competence versus incompetence, because most Democrats are sadly incompetent. It's the truth. Incompetence can't recognize competence. It's that simple. It's a simple rule. It's a simple law of life, right? It's just simple as that. And Tim Walz is the most incompetent governor I've ever seen. Not only did he allow a whole bunch of fraud under his watch, tons of fraud, he's blaming all of this on right-wing media. No, you got to blame yourself for turning a blind eye to all the fraud in your state, dude. You kidding me? Now, the fact that Tim Walz can't take any sort of semblance of responsibility on this one is proof positive the guy's a freaking a chode. The dude is a chode. Yeah, I can't stand Tim Walz, dude. I think that guy is like, the dude's the worst. Yeah, Tim Walz is an incompetent boob. Are you kidding me? Yeah, sorry. Hell free agency. You would be the guy who turns the certain people into the certain people. That's what you would do. No, the dude is the epitome of incompetence. And I love this poll, by the way. So is Tim Walz a good investor? 78% of you say no, 22% say yes. The dude bragged about not owning any stocks. I think the only asset to that man's name is probably his home in Minnesota, for God's sakes. I think he's a liar. I think he even lies about that. I feel like he probably has an LLC. He probably has an LLC where all of his assets are under the LLC and not under his name. So by all technicality, he probably doesn't own the stocks himself. It's all under the LLC. But either way, dude, the dude's a fraud. The dude tries so hard to act like the everyman, when in all reality, he's a champagne socialist. He's a champagne communist. He's an elitist. He's one of those guys that you don't ever trust with power. I would not trust Tim Walz in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, Tim Walz basically bragged about it on the campaign trail. Are you kidding me? What up, Maddox, my brony? My brony brother. What up, dude? My boy Maddox is in the house. What up, dude? What's up, my man? But no, when you brag about not owning any stocks, I think you're just kind of dumb. That's just stupid to brag about. Why would you brag about being financially illiterate? You're basically saying, "Oh, I hold cash like everybody else, like because I'm a moron." Why would you do that? Dude, the problem is also guys like Walz have so much faith in government. Like I said, incompetent people love government as well. Incompetent people think that government should control everything. That's the problem. Incompetent people don't know what works. They don't know what doesn't work. That's the thing. This is why I don't like incompetent people running my life. This is why government needs to have minimal power over me and everybody else. Government needs to stop telling people what to do. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like force from incompetent people. I don't like forceful, incompetent people telling me how to live my life. Right? I don't like it. Yeah, I'm trying to spend no money at this point. I'm kind of on the buy nothing kick. I'm not shopping for anything unless I actually absolutely need it. I actually might shop for new shoes though. Not new shirts, I mean. Dude, by the way, I'm making 1,000,000 points. What point have I not made? I made the point that Tim Walz doesn't own any stocks. That means he's an incompetent investor. That's point number 1. Point number 2. He allowed so much fraud to happen under his watch and turned a blind eye to it on multiple occasions. It's pretty obvious. That's point number 2. Point number 3 is he is incompetent, whether you like to admit it or not. This isn't even a Trump versus Walz issue. This is a Walz versus Walz issue. Walz just sucks. And if you're a Democrat, if you vote Democrat, that's fine. Vote Democrat. But I hope you realize that if you think that Tim Walz is a good governor, you yourself are probably an incompetent boob too. If you think that he's a good investor, you're an incompetent person. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry about that. It's just the facts. How can somebody who owns 0 stocks be governor? I just think it's stupid. I think it's good to own stocks. I think it's good to own real estate. I think it's good to own those things. Ownership is good. Ownership should be encouraged. Instead, we want the government to take care of us. We want the government to nanny us. We don't want to work hard. Incompetent people want the government to take care of them. Incompetent people love teamwork. And by the way, teamwork it really is the bane of my existence. Teamwork is terrible, by the way. Teamwork might be one of the worst concepts ever because teamwork makes nothing work. The problem with teamwork, when people work directly in teams together in close proximity, is that they tend to leech off of each other and nothing creative gets done. Individuals, when left to their own devices, are more imaginative and more creative as long as you assign them a task. All right? I really don't watch the news. I don't. I will react to whatever Asmongold is reacting to because it's fun to react YouTubers, but I do give my own opinion, surprisingly. Yeah, Tim Walz. No, definitely. Tim Walz is an incompetent boop. He's a bad investor. He's a bad governor. Probably, and this is terrible for me to say, I would assume a bad Faja. That's my assumption. Daddy Walz, dude. Daddy Tim Walz, man. Oh, I mean, I definitely am Trump sexual, if you're wondering. Dude, I work my ass off. Are you kidding me? I work my ass off 24/7. I don't take a break. I mean, I do take breaks, but not like a long break. I'm not a lazy millennial. I am a millennial, but I'm not a lazy one. I refuse to be a lazy one. Dude, I'm making points up the ass. Are you kidding me? If you want to be a good investor, invest in stocks. Invest in commodities. And if you can, invest in real estate. But real estate's kind of tough to get into these days. So the best alternative to real estate are real estate investment trusts, which you can get on any brokerage account or Roth IRA or 401k that you want. Tim Walz is a bad investor. Let's just call a spade a spade. All right? Tim Walz is bad investor, man. But yeah. Feels good to be out here, though. But yeah, Tim Walz is straight up the worst, dude. Dude, I've got plenty of things that I do besides this show. There are plenty of things I do besides this show. Plenty. All right? I ain't going to give you guys the details of my life, but I'm a rock star from Mars. All right? Just like Charlie Sheen. All right? You guys are cock stars. All right? You guys just love dong. I got plenty of talking points, bro. Dude, I already gave you 3 points. I already told you Tim Walz is a shitty investor because of A, B, and C. Because he doesn't own anything. That makes you a shitty investor if you don't own any assets besides a fucking home. That makes you average. The average American doesn't... I think the average American actually does have a 401k. But, like, And I think 401ks are stupid, but I think it's better than nothing. So I think nothing, 401k, and then individual brokerage account. That's the way I look at it. Roth IRAs are all right. I'm not a fan of individual retirement accounts because I want full control. I want to put in as much as I can or as less as I can. I want control. And I feel like you're controlled by your employer to some degree if you have to rely on them for your Roth IRA. That's the way I look at it. And I think individual brokerage accounts are the tits. I have full control. There's no penalties for me getting in and out of a position. I could swing trade all I want. Honestly, I fuel my portfolio with dividend income and swing trading income, straight up. My portfolio is it pounds, dude. It pounds. It kicks ass. No, I'm not going to give you guys details on my life. Why would I do that, dude? Why would I give you details on my life? No, I love doing YouTube. Also, I've made a mini media empire. I made a miniature empire, media empire. And I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish. I absolutely should be proud. But yeah, chilling out here in Mingus, dude. It's beautiful out here. How can a portfolio kick ass? Oh, it's funny. Hey, it's a media empire to me. When I don't have to hire anybody, I don't have to hire anybody. I'm the engineer of the show. I'm the IT guy. I'm the personality. I'm a jack of all trades, dude. I'm the personality of the show. I make the show work. And by the way, instead of hiring actual human beings, I use AI to help me with marketing. Yep. I use AI to help me with marketing. You absolutely got it. I don't have to. The only person I pay is ChatGPT, and that's $20 a month. I only pay $20 a month to ChatGPT, and that's the extent of it. But yep. One day soon, this guy's... You do realize that multiple streams of income is the way to go. I think relying on a single source of income is honestly suicide, in my opinion. I think it's suicide. It's a level of suicide. But I love doing this show, man. I love doing this show. But is Tim Walz a good investor? 79% of you say no. 21% of you say yes. You all know he's a shitty investor, right? You guys gotta know that at some point, right? No, by the way, I delegate certain tasks to AI. I don't delegate all tasks to AI, but I delegate certain tasks to artificial intelligence. I use ChatGPT for my marketing schemes. I'm so used to talking about scams now that I just marketing schemes, marketing layouts and stuff like that. I love ChatGPT though. ChatGPT is amazing. But yeah, I have no shame. No shame at all. By the way, investing is not hard, by the way. And also swing trading is very fun. Swing trading a broadly diversified index ETF is probably the best decision I ever made. Straight up. Because I'm still in the market with the rest of my portfolio. I'm also getting quick gains from the volatility of the market as well. You catch my drift? Everybody creates their empire in different ways. My empire was created through butt stuff. All right. Whew. Drinking a Monster energy drink, man. All right. All right, let's roll. We're going to go for a walk. I'm going to take you guys into the woods. It's the Michael Garza Show. Trying to navigate. Trying to avoid any sketchy shit. All right. Okay. Here we go. So we're walking up a trail. That's right, we're walking up. I'm taking you guys up this trail. Juicy trail. It's a good trail. The best trail. Wallet, keys, cell phone. Okay, cool. Oh. Oh, whoa. Donald Trump stock is trading at $1? Hell yeah, dude. I'll buy it. I might buy it at $1 per share. Hell yeah. That's a penny stock I could get behind. It's a good little trail up here. Yeah, I used to walk a lot of these trails quite a bit when I was younger. Pretty good. Really good trails. Oh. Love coming up here though. Yeah, it's good to get walks in. Felt like I was... Sometimes I get a little too stagnant. I like to try to get a 20-minute walk in a day. And going out into nature, it's one of those things that just kind of rebalances you, even if you're just going out to the park. It's pretty cool out here. But yeah, this is where the chimney used to be. They ended up taking down the chimney. R.I.P. the chimney. The day I found out the chimney was taken down, I was so depressed. I was like, damn, dude. Had to call up my boy Nate Dogg on that one. Had a lot of good times with that chimney. A lot of good times. In fact, there it is. Well, there's where it used to be. Right? Was it there? No, right there. That is where the chimney used to be. Oh no, I think it was more towards the bench. Yeah, no, right out there. Right there. Right there. So, chimney was a great place. Fun place to hang out. That was when we were a lot younger, a lot more spry. This is a beautiful place, though. Look at this. Look at this. This is God's country. Oregon's low-key probably one of the most beautiful places in the world, dude. I love Oregon. Like, just going out on the trails, even going out here at Mingus Park. Like, this is really a second office to me, and I use it as such. I think it's the smartest thing I could do is to use it as some sort of second office, Yeah, these are multiple trails. A lot of people usually jog through here. I think it's a little cold at the moment, so I think most people aren't actually jogging. Most people who do serious jogging usually do it around 5 in the morning typically, but LARPing. I'm out here pretending to be an investor. Now, it's funny though. I really do enjoy investing though. It's one of the things that just kind of gets me going. It keeps me up at night. No, honestly, I can sleep soundly knowing my portfolio is heavily diversified, which is nice. In a world full of uncertainty, it is nice to have some certain things, portfolio, I would say, is not fully certain, even through a diversified portfolio, but it does help. That's funny, dude. That's a good one, Hellfire Agency. I like that, man. Hey, Feline Gaming, what up, Brony? How's it going, pal? Pretty good, Brony. My Brony brother, what up, dude? Got so many bronies out here, dude. Well, I'm chilling out here in the park, just lots of cool stuff going on. Nothing really happening. I'm on the top part of the hill, I was telling everybody this is where the chimney used to be. Really good place to hang out, though. Really fun place. You guys are getting kind of a glimpse at where I hung out in my childhood, and number of times I've hung out on that bench, hung over. Those were the days. Those were the days. Dude, Feline Gaming, you're definitely a brony, dude. You're absolutely a brony. I bet you're a brony. Or you're a furry, one or the other, I don't know. It's not a lot of diff, dude. Not a lot of difference between the two. If we're gonna be honest. But yeah, no, this is just the best spot in the world, man. I love it up here. And yeah, there's plenty of places to walk. I mean, I could pace up and down this trail, which is nice. I don't have to go too many places. I can kind of get a little bit of exercise in, chill. But yeah, no, I love it up here, man. It's a beautiful place to chill, hang out. You're not a furry or a brony, you're a Christian. Are you a Christian brony? I'm assuming that you're a brony of some kind. You're just a different label. You're a brony Christian. It's like glam metal, It's like glam metal, I think. I don't know. Got to ponder that thought for a second. I don't know. I love calling you guys my brony brothers, though. Even though I'm a fake brony. I'm not a real brony. I ain't no brony. Oh yeah, no, it's fun to be up here though. This is seriously the most fun spot to be in Mingus Park is the top of this hill. Make sure you guys tap the simp subscribe button. We need more simp subscribers here, so more simps we have, the better. We've kind of turned the subscribe button into a degenerate concept of simp subscribing. I feel like I've pretty much become an OnlyFans model at this point. Just kidding. I'm not a real OnlyFans model. I wish I was, though. I wish I was truly desired on OnlyFans. I wish. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a little spooge. Looks like some spooge on this tree over here. Some white stuff. Anytime I see white stuff, I assume it's spooge. Live every day, bros. You're a pink brony bro, and you dance at the gay club. Oh my God, I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. I should just start singing in the park. I should just walk around the park with you guys and just start singing and looking like a total psychopath. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club, the Pink Brony Club. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I'm the man. Sing Frank Sinatra through the park. That'd be funny. And I did it my way. Oh yeah, I did it my way, guys. My brony brothers. Now it's kind of cool. This is a neat little patch of grass over here. Let's see. Got some good spots over here. I love it out here at the park, though. I mean, like, one of the best things is, and I like to be careful where I step, though, because I feel like you never know what kind of drug addicts hang out here. But, you know, beautiful spot. I love the park. That's great out here, though, man. I like it when nobody's out here because I can kind of free range. I mean, sure, there's probably going to be a jogger who kind of jogs by and they're going to be like, what the fuck's this crackhead doing? But, you know, most of it's just like, I get to chill out here and... Nah, this is the best spot, man. You could even kind of run like little mini laps. I could just like run my laps here. Run through this tree. I could do my karate training out here. Do karate training and shit. But yeah, no, it's pretty good hanging out here, man. There's nothing better than hanging out in the Mingus Park woods with a camera. Yeah, I'm gonna do my karate montages. I'm a karate master, boys. I'm a karate master. I was trained by Steven Seagal. I was trained by Steven Seagal and Tim Walz in the amazing martial arts of Aikido and bad governorship. I know how to be an incompetent governor, and I know how to be an Aikido master, all because I watched Steven Seagal and Tim Walz in their element, dude. In their motherfucking element, dude. Come on, man. Come on. Oh. Come on. Best karate movie. I don't think The Karate Kid's the best karate movie. I know that's a hot take, but it's a good one. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. But I think the best karate movie is the one that has, like, my boy Sean William Scott in it. That's a pretty damn good one. Can't remember what it was called. It's actually a shitty one, but I like how shitty it is to the point where I think it's better than The Karate Kid. So, yeah. I know. Everybody's going to be hating in the comments. I know. I'm feeling the hate already, dude. I feel you guys typing hard on your keyboards. I feel you keyboard warriors are having a good time. Yeah, he was in a kung fu movie, believe it or not. I can't. If I find the title of the movie, I'll do a review on it because it's been a long time since I watched it. But I really did like the movie, though. I thought it was pretty phenomenal. Also, by the way, the best martial arts movies of all time are anything with Chuck Norris in it. Are you guys fucking kidding me? Anything that has Chuck Norris in it is typically in the top tier, S tier of karate movies. So let's just point that out. Point that out, all right? So is Tim Walz a good investor? 18% of you say yes. 82% of you say no. pretty glaring. I mean, the dude did. I mean, honestly, the dude gave us enough proof that he's a shitty investor by bragging about the fact that he doesn't own any stocks. You know, that's a tall tale sign that you're a shit investor. Yeah. So Timothy frickin' Walz, bro. Tim Walz. Tim Walz. It's fun to hang out here, though. It is fun to hang out here. Yeah, Walking X, dude. Honestly, Tim Walz is just incompetent, bro. It's not even hard to invest. In fact, honestly, investing is so easy these days that I can't stand it when people say, "Oh, I don't know how to invest," or "I don't have enough money to invest yet." It's like, dude, if you have $20 extra or $40 extra a month, you can easily dump that into a Schwab account, a Robinhood account, Fidelity, Moomoo, Webull, Public, whatever your fucking brokerage of choice is. Pick your poison. I mean, I hate Public. I think it's a stupid Robinhood knockoff. They pretend to be like all ethical and shit, but they're not. But I do prefer ultimately. I ultimately go with what's that one called? It's trying to remember the specifics. I go with Robinhood and Schwab as my two main brokerage accounts. I don't use anything else but Robinhood and Schwab. I do have a Public and a Webull account, but I didn't have much in there to begin with, so I just kind of I sold all of my positions in there just so that way I could just stop using them. I'm not the biggest fan of Webull. I might use their paper trading platform part of it, but that's about the extent of it. But other than that, like I still have I won't close my account per se, but I do plan on I'll probably end up like removing my bank account from them, for example, instead of having them linked, just for security purposes. I think it's good. I have 2FA for everything, so it's like I'm pretty much pretty solid when it comes to cybersecurity stuff, but yeah, I keep things very, very secure to the point where I don't even give people my actual. I don't even let you guys know my actual birthday, for example. I fucking lie to you guys all the time about how old I am, which is awesome. Which is the smartest thing that one can do is lie to your audience about your age. I think it's good to lie to your audience about like when you were born, because then if there's any bad actors in the audience who are trying to like scam you or whatever, they won't be able to. Also, I have a very common name. Michael Garza is a very, very common name. So if I lie about my age and lie about a lot of stuff, it's very tough to find which Michael Garza is which. It's pretty good. Oh, whoa, dude! I got an email. I got an email from Sovereign Films. By the way, I'm going to read their email real quick. At least I'm going to read part of it. Hi, Michael Garza. You really opened the channel with an official trailer. Debunked on crypto. Took a swing at Sailor. Told CNBC to calm down. And then disappeared for a month. Respect. I didn't disappear for a month. What are you talking about? I run Sovereign Films. We work with idea-first creators on story-based edits, clean packaging, and thumbnails that don't shout or oversimplify, the kind that let people know what room suck ass. So I hate it when these dudes email me and they're like, "Oh man," they like really kiss your ass, you know? So these Sovereign Film people, Sovereign or whatever, they're like they open up the email with basically the most kiss-ass statements I've ever seen. Yeah, don't get me started on Bitcoin, dude. It is a scam, and anybody who thinks that Bitcoin or any sort of crypto is an investment is a moron. You're probably the same people who fell for NFTs. You're probably the same douchebags who fell for all the dumb shit. And if you fell for all the dumb shit, that's on you at the end of the day. Ty Lord says that officer that shot the person had their body cam released. He was hit when they actually released the body cam footage. Very, very good. So Ty Lord, you're saying that he was 100% hit? Like you watched the body cam footage and it showed like boom, he got hit. Okay. So yeah, she was using her car as a weapon then. That makes perfect sense to me. So yeah, it wasn't self-defense. Now, however, I still don't think he should have pulled the gun. I think that was stupid. I still think pulling the gun was the wrong move. I don't think that was a smart move. But she should not have used her car as a weapon. Absolutely. 100%. That's crazy, man. That's wild. I can't wait. I don't usually like to go on Twitter or X or whatever it is now. But I will check out X and see what the video looks like, because I'm sure it's probably spread across X already. I will say X does tend to spread things like wildfire. That's the one thing about X. It's really good about spreading things. YouTube, we're a little slow to get things spread around. But yeah, no, this is great, man. It's great, because I figured it was self-defense. It did, like, from every angle that I saw, it looked like the car was going towards him. And it doesn't surprise me that he got hit by the car either as a result. You know, it just pisses me off. You know, and look, ICE agents are still federal agents, like, right? They're still federal agents. And so you can't just be interfering with an investigation because your woke ass thinks it's the smartest thing to do. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to send a link in this on the chat, but you can send it to me via Messenger or something like that. I won't be able to react to it at the moment just because I'm doing the live video at the park. But yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for giving me the heads up on that, man. Thank you for the intel. Oh, silver's $83 an ounce. Holy shit, that's hot. That's hot as hell, dude. It's funny. I'm out here at the park pacing around. I'm kind of just pacing around this trail over here. I might actually, you know what? Let's make our way towards the bench a little bit. I'm not going to sit down or anything. I want my legs to keep moving just because it is a little cold out here. And, you know, doing the show, I'm trying to get back into shape. So getting back into shape starts with me actually moving around. So this is one of the trails over here. You can take a few of these trails here. But yeah, this is the Mingus Mapingus. So my boy TJ is saying yes, let's fucking go silver. Yep, I agree, man. Silver is amazing. Silver and gold are great. Like I always say, commodities, I would rather have gold and silver in a safe as my savings account than have a high yield or even a certificate of deposit. I think certificate of deposits are scams. You are better off if you want to preserve your wealth. If you're afraid of stocks, okay, granted, I understand, but you should be afraid of cash. People should be afraid of holding cash, straight up. And I'm going to preach, brother. I'm going to preach. People should absolutely be afraid of holding cash, without a doubt. Cash is not backed by anything of value. Cash is printed by the Federal Reserve. Criminally, I might add. I think it's criminal. And when something... Cash is the definition of inflationary. Cash is the pure play definition of inflationary, man. It is. Got the link sent? Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Here we go. I won't be able to watch it now. Hold on. Give me one second, though. Yeah, I won't be able to watch it at the moment, but yeah. That's fucking tight, though. Thanks for sending me that link, man. Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me, man. And you know what sucks is the left-wing media is trying to play it out like the... You know what I mean? Like the lady was justified in doing what she did. I don't think she was. I still am not a fan of the officer, though, doing what he did, too. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that the officer should have drew his weapon and shot her. I really don't. Even though she was in the wrong, in this instance, he could have dodged. He could have got out of the way. But she clearly used her car as a weapon. And I still think he shouldn't have been so trigger happy. I still don't think he should have went for the gun. But no, I think the main thing is, the one thing that people should focus on is, if you're going to try to be financially free, save your assets, not your cash. This is the battle cry of this channel. Save your assets. Make sure that your assets are diversified up the ass, though. Make sure you're spread across. Make sure your risk is spread out. Save your assets, not your cash. Straight up. Because cash is worthless at the end of the day. The longer you hold it, the longer you're falling victim to inflationary forces. Assets are the key. Assets are king. I hate it when people say cash is king. Look, it's good to have reserve cash on standby. Don't get me wrong. Cash on standby is necessary. I have a good chunk of cash in my checking. I have a good chunk of cash in my brokerage account that I use also for swing trading the Vanguard Total World Index. Point I'm trying to make is, swing trading is important. Swing trading two ETFs at least. You could even just swing trade the VT alone and be fine, because it's safe. I prefer to swing trade things that are safe than things that are screwy. Right, with the Vanguard Total World Index, me swing trading that, it's literally the whole fund holds 10,000 companies, and it's not they're not actively traded within the fund itself. They're held in an index, which is perfect. So I love swing trading the VT for a little bit of extra cash. This is something I do consistently. Get some extra beer money out of the deal too, which is kind of nice. But let's see. Stocks Family Farm says, I don't think he could have. From the front end of the car, you can't see the wheels. You can't see if the wheels are turned. He thought she was aiming for him, and she was as soon as she backed up originally. That's crazy, man. But yeah, still, I think he just... here's the thing. I think he just needed to get out of the way. And yeah, did he get hit? It sounds like he did. It really does. It seems like he did too. I haven't looked at the body cam footage yet. But all evidence points that she was in the wrong, but I still think he was in the wrong too. I still don't think I just, I would have rather seen her get arrested than killed, if we're going to be honest. I would rather have seen her get arrested than killed. I'm on the side of, I don't want to see anybody die. And I just felt like, she was obviously using her car as a weapon. Yes, she was in the wrong. But I feel like the dude was in the wrong for pulling out his gun, But yeah, the attitude towards ICE agents at this point is a little ridiculous from the left-wing media. They're acting like the ICE agents are the Gestapo. And this is the problem. Now everybody is trying to interfere with legitimate ICE investigations. So it's like, what's the point? Yeah. And, but yeah, there's just been this fear spread in the mainstream media that if you get captured by ICE, you're going to disappear. And it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, don't actively interfere with federal investigations, though. That's the thing. Look, ICE is a federal agency, whether people like to admit it or not. If you interfere with their investigations or interfere with what they're doing, you're in the wrong. They are a federal agency, whether you like to admit it or not. But yeah, she definitely used her car as a battering ram. 58 votes so far. Is Tim Walz a good investor? 22% of you say yes. 78% of you say no. We're going to get back to the investing portion of this at the moment. We could keep debating the ethics of what happened and everything like that, but I'd rather get to the point of talking about just getting right back to the point of the investing side of things. So obviously, Tim Walz is a good blueprint of how not to be an investor. Sometimes, I always give the blueprint on how to invest, but I don't think that's always good enough. Sometimes you need a blueprint of what not to do, and then that way you'll be encouraged to do the right thing, right? You'll be encouraged to do the polar opposite. So if anybody wants to be a good governor, look at Tim Walz. Look at Tim Walz's record and what he does, and then you'll learn what a bad governor is, and then you'll just do the opposite of Tim Walz, and you'll be a great governor, straight up. If you want to be a great investor, look at Tim Walz and look how bad of an investor is. He doesn't even own any stocks. He doesn't own any gold, from what I remember him saying. I mean, I could be wrong, but he bragged about it on the campaign trail that he doesn't own any stocks, unless he's changed his mind. But I still think Tim Walz is a crappy investor. I think he's just an incompetent boob. I don't like incompetent people in positions of power. I think incompetent people do not deserve to be in power. Straight up. Get them out of power. That's the way I look at it, man. But yeah, 78% of you say no. 22% of you say yes. Hell yeah, that's funny. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. More subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. But yeah, Timothy motherfucking Walz, dude. Tim Walz, man. Yeah. It's a shame it had to happen, though, man. It's a shame. Thanks, everybody, for participating in this poll. This is hilarious. It might even get to an 80-20 vote. 1 in 5 people think that Tim Walz is a great investor. But no, Tim Walz is the exact opposite of a good investor. The GOAT, dude. Feels pretty good to be out here, though. Tim Walz, man. Tim Walz, brother. Nah, Tim Walz is a shitty fucking governor, though, dude. Shitty. But here we go. Yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. Look at this. I'm standing next to this tree. I'm gonna look so fucking majestic. Look at that. Oh, that's it's a good photo op right there. It's a good photo op right there. That's a beautiful looking tree, though, man. Look at that. Look how high that thing goes. Woo. It's a beautiful tree. I might do things to that tree. Maybe. We got 61 votes. 77% of you say no. 23% say yes. Hell yeah, dude. No, but I do believe that Tim Walz is the king of incompetency. And the longer he stays in as governor, I think here's the thing. The longer the Democrats look bad. Because he's got another year of being the governor. He's not going to resign. He just said, over my dead body. So it's okay, shit. Well, he's just going to make the Democrats look even worse. So, yeah, Democrats got hope at this point. And I don't vote Democrat, though. I'm basically anti-Democrat at this point. I'm not pro-Republican either. I'm very much an independent, but I am anti-Democrat. I would rather vote third party than Democrat any day of the week. Democrats lost my vote forever. They seriously have. It's the party of the Looney Tunes, and I also don't believe that we're a democracy. We're not. We're a representative, constitutional representative republic. Straight up. Ah, feels good to be out here, though. Oof, feels so good. No, I love it out here, man. It's great. Little nature, a little bit of a good feeling. You know, I love it. But yeah, I got the trees. Feels good to do the show outside, though. I could have done the show inside this morning, but I was like, nah, I'm good. Oh, there's chaos in Minnesota, huh? So yeah, I guess we're gonna see a lot of leftist lunatics hit the streets doing protests at this point, and you're gonna see that in Minnesota a lot. You're probably gonna see it here in Coos Bay, Oregon, at some point. This is what those people do. But yeah, honestly, just let Minnesota ruin itself at this point. I mean, Minnesotans, we shouldn't even be giving federal tax dollars to Minnesota at this point. I don't even think we should be giving federal tax dollars to Oregon. Not a fan of that either. Yeah. That's it, man. It's all I gotta say. Probably take one of these trails here. I don't know if it's a good idea to, but take one of the trails. Up here at Mingus. I love Mingus Park, dude. It's great. Make my way down. Yeah, there's a few trails one could take. That's the best part about Mingus is the multiple trails everywhere. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, it's good shit. I could take that trail down. It's a little steep though. It's one of the steeper trails. Probably won't do a super long, probably go back home and get something to drink. Drink some liquids. Ooh. Ooh. Well, so we're going down. Oh, I'm down here in Mingus Park, Mr. Charlie. It's a good place, man. It's a good place. Hell yeah. Mingus Park in Coos Bay, Oregon. Beautiful spot. Could go down that trail. Or down that one, I'm not sure. But I'll tell you guys what. Let's see. Show you guys just the ground. Oh, there is a trail down there. Sort of. We're back. All right. We're back. Now, chilling out here in good old Mingus. Feeling good. Kicking ass, though, dude. Yep, now we're up there. You guys got a pretty sexy camera, dude. Just taking some pictures of the ducks. It's fun to get video of the ducks, though, dude. There's so many cool ducks around here. But yeah, no, just chilling out here at the at Mingus my Pingus, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Got lots of votes. Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we have, the better. It does help the channel grow. It does help my dong seem bigger, but my dong will always be small. I just got to accept that at this point in my life. Well, I do got to take a piss. So what I'm going to do, I'll put you guys in my pocket. Put you guys in my pocket here while I go and take a piss. I'm going to turn off the video. All right. Sorry about you guys. Had to take a pee. No, I ain't gonna mute. I intentionally off. I keep the mute. I don't mute shit. I definitely, obviously, cover up the video. But now I feeling good right now. Feeling good. I drank a whole monster, so I'm kind of big time. So I'm gonna put you guys back up on the tripod. Yeah, too late. The damage is done, boys. Damage is done. All right, we're back. Feeling good. You guys know I'm one of those guys that I gotta take a piss sometimes. But yeah, no, we're back in the park area. It's a fun place to. This is my second office, man. I use this as a secondary office, but you know, I will say this: it still pisses me off to no end when I hear chodes like Tim Walz, brag about not having assets, bragging he's just like the every other man. No, he's not, dude. He's a kiss ass. And that's what Tim Walz is at the end of the day. He's a big old kiss ass. And that's how he got to become governor. Dude, he's just like, he reeks of incompetency. Straight up. He's an incompetent man. Tim Walz is. And like, look, I don't mind if people are incompetent. I just don't want incompetent people to be in power. I'm against incompetent people being in power. I don't like incompetent people having control over me. Or any perceived control over me. That's the thing. So competency matters. And we live in a world where people care less about competency, which is sad. I'm still looking good, dude. Oh, thank you, my brony brother. Thank you, boy Robert. I appreciate you. I look tasty, I know. Here, I'm going to sit down because my legs need a slight rest. And, oh boy. I need to chill. Okay. So I'm putting up the tripod here. Whew. Yeah, it's like I need to chill for a second, just for a few moments. But yeah, dude, I think that the whole, everything with Tampon Tim, dude, is, yeah, so yeah, boy Robert saying I'm casually aura farming in public. You could say that. I mean, I'm proud of being a good investor, whereas Tim Walz is proud about being a very crappy, incompetent investor. And that's the problem I have with Tim Walz, is he promotes incompetence. He thinks that doing incompetent things is inherently a good thing. It's just like, if you guys ever watched Kung Pao Enter the Fist, it's just like how they trained Ling Pao, or whatever the dude's name is, to that losing is winning. Like, look, losing is inevitable. You're always going to have moments in life where you suck at something, but it's up to you to get better at that something if you really want to get better at that something, right? It's as simple as that. And that's what I do with my life. Life is, I really, and thank goodness I played baseball when I was younger, and thank goodness I was kind of into baseball when I was younger. The game got too slow for me. But one thing I took away from baseball was the life lesson that even though in baseball you only get 3 or 4 at bats, you're still considered a great baseball player, even if you hit the ball 1 out of 4 times or 1 out of 3 times. You're still considered, in fact, you're considered a legend if you can hit the ball 30 to 40% of the time. Any other profession, you'd be fucked. But that's kind of how I look at entrepreneurship. It's a lot like baseball. I take a lot of swings. Now, I don't lose a lot. I don't lose any money, though, from these swings. I make sure that every swing I take doesn't screw me financially. Starting the YouTube channel was a low-cost operation. It never screwed me financially. In fact, it's been beneficiary. It has had a huge return on investment. Investing, obviously, I've had to put money down into things to invest, but that's the best part about it, is I have a portfolio that's been growing for a long time because of how much I love to invest. Yeah. I mean, like, it's just one of those things that I look at. I think life is a lot simpler. At least being effective is a lot simpler than we realize. And yes, it's good to make mistakes. It is good to mess up sometimes. I'm not saying intentionally mess up. I'm just saying that sometimes pain can be a good thing. And that's how I really do believe that, like, investing is like baseball. I think starting your own business is like baseball. Now, you still don't want, I think it's good to get into a low cost of operation business, or if you're starting a business, make a very small version of that business to see how successful it'll be, and then use the profits from that business to fund the growth of the business. And, like my brother, I love him, but he made the mistake of taking out too much debt for his candle business, unfortunately. And he's not doing his little terp candles business anymore because I think he got into business with a guy that he shouldn't have gotten into business with. And I felt like he was getting into business for all the wrong reasons. And sadly, gamblers love borrowing money to start their businesses. I don't. Every business that I've ever started, I use my own money. I don't use anybody else's money. I make a very small version of that business and see how successful it is. I started my own eBay store once. I was actually somewhat successful. I kind of just stopped doing it because I just got bored of it. Yeah, it's just you start things. You start it off small. You make the business start out small, and if it is successful, it'll grow through the profits that you get. You take those profits and then reinvest it back into the company by either getting more supplies, getting the things that you need to keep making a profit, that sort of thing. But me personally, at this point, I've just become a full-on investor. I don't even need to start my own businesses at this point, which is great. I'm a swing trader. That's one of my businesses. YouTuber business. All of these don't cost me anything except for maybe occasionally having to get a new camera or a new microphone, maybe a new smartphone. But other than that, these have been profitable adventures. And then, of course, so there's a swing trading, there's the YouTube stuff, delivery driving shit. It's like there's so many things, so many streams of income that I have that keep me alive, Yeah, I think staying out of debt's a good thing. I'm glad I never went to college. The biggest lie, and my dad will deny this. One of the biggest problems I have with my dad is that he has, first off, too much faith in government. He thinks that government's the end all be all, that it should take care of its people. Not necessarily. There should be social programs for the people who are almost stacking at zero. But at the same time, government only makes things worse. Another thing that my dad and I heavily disagreed with, by the way, my dad's a hypocrite in a lot of ways. He's got the boomer mentality. He went to college for one semester, but he expected Brandon and I to go to college because he thought without college we would not be successful as adults. It turned out I was a successful one because I thought college was stupid. Everything that I've learned on my own. I've gotten certificates for certain things. Sure, I've spent some money on certificates. The certificates make my resume look good, actually, which is funny. But got a couple certificates from Google on like cybersecurity and shit. But and marketing. I will say the Google those courses were actually pretty decent, teaching about marketing and stuff. But yeah, college is just not for me. I'm not a college guy. I always thought college was a waste of time. I think that parents should be smart and not pressure their kids into college. Honestly, you should pressure your kids to have multiple streams of income, because no job is really secure at this point. Even no degree is really secure at this point. Yeah, college is stupid. It is honestly very ridiculous. I'm glad. I only went for a semester as well. I took the same route my dad was. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go to college for a semester and see how I like it. I thought it was the stupidest experience ever. I did all right in the classes, actually. I did pretty good. But, I just thought it was dumb. I was like, why am I doing this? College is stupid. I can learn all this stuff on my own. What's the point of having this stupid piece of paper? Unless I'm going to do something with my life, like be a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse, something that requires college like that, sure. But I wasn't going to be those things, so why the fuck would I go to college? To get into debt? College, dude, student loan debt is so stupid. And if you're going to get into student loan debt, fucking finish the degree. Fucking A. I'm sorry says, if you follow the rules, you're a fool. Absolutely. I think most rules are made for stupid people. I think, honestly, if you follow the rules, I do think that you're kind of a moron. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%, dude. You know, honestly, the reason I'm successful in life is because I didn't follow the rules. In fact, I did everything wrong. I'm going to say bunny ears wrong. I'm proud of the fact that I'm not following the same traditional path that everybody else does. In fact, I'm taking a more effective path in life, for me at least. No, I'm very satisfied that I never went to college. I mean, that's great. I mean, look, you can make a lot of money if you're like if you want to be a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, something that's matters to society. You know, that requires a higher level of education. There are other things that matter in society just as well. Don't get me wrong, but like, you know, doctors and nurses, yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense to go to college, especially if you have the ability to be a doctor or a nurse, without a doubt. It's possible I could have been a doctor. I don't know. I thought about it. I thought about actually trying, but I also am not a big fan of blood. You know, I don't like. I'm okay with. I mean, I guess I could draw blood if I needed to, but I could be a phlebotomist. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, TJ, man. Hopefully the interest rates are low in the student loan debt, though. I'm hoping that the interest rates are low. But yeah, I actually, it was funny because I looked at a lot of the student loans that were out there when I thought about going to college, but then I realized I was like, yeah, my dad's a moron. My dad really is a moron. He's an incompetent boob. I love him, but he's an incompetent boob. And and I just like I was just like, why am I listening to this moron? Because my dad never got his life together, in my opinion. He's an intelligent dude, but he also believes in a lot of stupid shit. Like he believes in a lot of stupid shit while also being a very intelligent guy. And yeah, and I don't know. I just was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I basically made that one of my goals. I had a deca millionaire technically. And because I invest the way I do, because I do things the way that I do, I'm actually able to be more financially free than all my family. Yeah, and I realized at a young age that if everybody's doing it, it's probably bad for me. So I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. ET says, Yo, Garza, check out the point of view of the ICE officer they got. Yeah, I heard Ty Lord actually, hold on. My boy Ty Lord actually sent me a link. I haven't watched it yet. I won't be able to watch it while I'm doing the stream, unfortunately, because I have my phone on me and I can't like. It's really weird. So if I was on my computer, I'd be able to watch it while talking to you guys, but I'm not. So I don't have my laptop with me at the moment. Yeah, and people, you know, it's so funny. The left-wing media tries to claim that this lady's the victim, but honestly, she used her car as a weapon, and you know, and there is a lot of left-wing rhetoric, you know, that's going around saying that ICE is the Gestapo and stuff like that. It's not. They're just look. We voted for this. We voted for ICE to do their thing. We're tired of our world. We're tired of the United States turning into a third world country. And by that, I mean we're letting too many people in. Yeah, I still wish she didn't, you know, have to die, man. That sucks. I'm still not thrilled about that. Yeah, it's a shitty situation all around, and it does suck. Yeah, the whole situation's pretty wild, man. Yeah, the whole situation's wild as hell. Yeah, I'm probably gonna head back home in just a little bit. Probably make myself some food. Make myself some lunch basically, and kind of chill out for a bit. But I'm gonna be still here for a little longer. I'll probably start heading back towards 12, around 12ish. Stocks Family Farm, Mr. TJ says, I didn't know the body cam footage came out until just now. Watched it. Yep. No, and here's the thing, man. She did run into the dude. It's pretty obvious. He was able to get out of the way after being hit, luckily. But it's pretty messed up. You know. And it's pretty damning at this point. Like, telling these people to go and interfere with these ICE investigations is only just going to cause more trouble for everybody. And all the rhetoric, look, they're still federal agents. I don't agree with ICE a lot of the time. I'm not a fan of ICE. But they're still federal agents. They're still doing their investigations. And yeah. And yeah, and look, there's a lot of evidence of fraud in Minnesota. There's a reason ICE is there, because they know there's a lot of people committing fraud and doing a lot of stuff. And they're basically, they were a sanctuary city and for illegal immigration. So it's like, dude, there's a reason ICE is there. There's a reason that they're there. Everybody. Sorry. It's crazy though, man. Quasimodo. But yeah, no, I just feel the way I feel about the whole situation is, it seems like ICE needs to be there now more than ever. But yeah, and I plan on watching that body cam footage at some point, probably pretty soon. Not immediately when I get home, because I do have some. I already knew the guy got hit because I saw all the different angles from the different camera angles from the whole thing. So I already knew the guy was in front. I didn't realize he got like hit. That's crazy. So yeah, when you're using your car as a weapon to try to run over somebody, I mean, I still wish he didn't shoot her. I wish it could have gone somewhat differently. I wish he could have just got out of the way and that's it. No guns involved, but that's how it had to go. That's just the way I see it, though. I mean, clearly at that point, when you're using your car as a battery ram, I mean, it's game over at that point. Corey says, imagine trying to talk shit when you don't even spell Quasimodo correctly. You don't even. So look, so supposedly the body cam footage, everybody's telling me that based on the body cam footage, he did get directly hit by the car. Like, that's wild, man. So it's pretty damning, man. It's pretty damning. The evidence is pretty damning at this point. The body cam footage, I guess, from what everybody's telling me. I haven't watched it myself. I will watch it and I will judge for myself. And I think you guys should go on X and look for the body cam footage as well to see what, and make your own judgments, right? But yeah, he got hit. That's crazy. And yeah, and this lady was not complying with the law at all. The whole thing's wild, man. It's just wild. DGP, you said you saw the body cam footage. What do you think? Do you think the lady was using it as a battery, her car as a weapon? The more and more information that comes out about this, the more damning it is overall. It's damning, dude. The evidence is piling up, man. The evidence is piling up. But yeah, the poll question is Tim Walz a good investor? 24% of you say yes, which is surprising, and 76% of you say no. You guys do realize that he bragged about not owning any stocks, right? He bragged about it. The only asset he owns is his own home, which honestly is more of a black hole for cash, in my opinion, than anything else. I prefer to have a very diversified portfolio so I can sleep soundly at night, and I love the income that I could get from my portfolio. It's nice. Oh yeah, straight up, Corey and TJ. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's funny, the left, it's funny, the left celebrates when people that don't agree with them, they'll celebrate their deaths. Notice how obviously this lady who died, who was shot, she was using her car as a weapon. We're not rooting for her death. We're not. Notice how we actually wish it didn't happen, right? And then people on the left, the other side of the aisle, they see that Charlie Kirk died or some girl dies on the train, and because they don't ideologically agree with them, they celebrate their murders. Yeah, they laughed at Charlie Kirk when he died. We're not laughing at the fact that this lady died. We're actually sad. We didn't want it to happen. We don't want stuff like that to happen, man. Like, we don't celebrate death. I don't celebrate it, man. In fact, I was sad to see it. Obviously, the gal who got shot obviously ideologically does not agree with me in any way, but that doesn't matter to me. Obviously, she used her car as a weapon, but I still wish she didn't die. I didn't want her to die. And the thing is, the people who rooted for Charlie Kirk dying, the people who rooted for the girl on the subway to die or whatever, you're sick. The left is disgusting. So, you know, the funny thing is, how did Charlie Kirk, so even if Charlie Kirk was hateful, by the way, that he doesn't deserve to die. Let's say he was. I don't think hateful people deserve to die for being hateful. You could be a hateful person, you don't deserve to die. I don't care what sort of rhetoric you're spreading, you don't deserve to die. But yeah, notice, Slenderman, notice how we're not celebrating the death of this lady. We're not. We're actually sad about it. We didn't, look, obviously we're saying she should have done things different, but at the same time, we are sad that she's dead. Dude, the car was being used as a weapon. It's pretty obvious. Look at the angles. And also, I can't wait to look at the body cam footage so I can see for myself. Yeah. Well, I'm not celebrating her death. Well, it sucks that there are people doing that. Yeah. Well, it sucks, man. Snooze brain, you have exactly what I think you have, a snooze brain. So, yeah, no, it seems like she used the car as a weapon. All evidence points that she used the car as a weapon. And I'm open to people disagreeing with me on this, and I think everybody should have their own interpretation of this. I think that's important. We shouldn't be told how to think. We should look at it with our own eyes, our own senses, and come to a conclusion individually. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at the body cam footage, and we're going to see what the truth is. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to kind of take a moment to evaluate it. I'm not going to play it on the channel, though, because I don't like to play violent material on the channel. I just encourage people to check it out for themselves on X. And, you know, you make your own judgment on this one. I haven't looked at it yet. I've not looked at the body cam footage yet. But I do plan on it, though. It still sucks quite a bit, though. Hey, but thank you guys. I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. We've had a lot of subscribers. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow. Don't forget to vote in the poll, too, by the way. Yeah. But yeah, it will be interesting to see the official body cam footage of it. I haven't seen it, so I can't make any true determinations yet. Look, there's a lot of people who hate the ICE agents, but it doesn't mean they're justified. You know, they're still federal agents. You can't just interfere with things just because you think you're on the right side of history. You can't interfere with federal investigations. If you're impeding traffic, if you're doing all that shit and you're trying to run over an ICE agent, you're not in the right. You're in the wrong. All right? Simple as that. Crazy manual, man. I'm not a fan of what you're saying there. I don't think she deserved what she got on that one. I don't. I think it's wrong to think that. I still think this could have went a different way. The reason they wear masks is because everybody doxes them. You have to wear masks at a certain point because the left kept doxing them and trying to ruin their lives for being ICE agents, so they have to wear masks. If you guys weren't doxing them, they wouldn't have to wear masks. It's that simple. Yeah, I'm not giving in to the leftists. By the way, the leftists in the chat, You guys, first off, you guys don't argue in good faith. That's true. You guys don't argue in good faith. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, man. I mean, it's interesting to see the arguments in the chat. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading your guys' chats and trying to keep up with this. I don't know. What do you guys... Yeah. Either way, the body cam evidence will show me what I need to see, and I'll be able to make my own determinations. I mean, I already saw the different angles, and the guy was in front of the car. If you get hit by the car, you get hit by the car. And it's painfully obvious that she's trying to run over the ICE agent. And she was also, before that, impeding in the investigation, blocking traffic, doing all sorts of stuff. So don't act like she was completely innocent in this either. I'm not saying that she did not deserve to die. No. I think it's terrible what happened to her. But when you use your car as a weapon, sorry. It's kind of game over at that point, man. I'm a real mega. All right. They call me Mega Man. So we got 86 votes. We're going to end the stream once we get to 100 votes. Is Tim Walz a good investor? 24% of you say no. 76% of you say, 76% of you say no. 20% of you say yes. Make sure you guys vote in the poll. We're trying to get to 100 votes before the end of the stream. I'm going to head home here in a little bit. No, I think the thing is Tim Walz is incompetent, and incompetent people tend to not understand what competence looks like, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem to me. Incompetent people don't know what competence actually looks like, so they tend to think incompetence is competence. So that's the worst part about it. This is why you see kiss asses like Tim Walz get promoted. And Tim Walz is a professional kiss ass, whether you guys like to admit that or not. So I'm thinking about slow cooking spaghetti noodles. Sounds ridiculous, I know, but it does sound kind of fun. I'm a kiss ass. How the hell? First off, I'm not a kid. First off, I do love Trump. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little Trump sexual, but I don't kiss the man's ass. All right. I cannot stand. I cannot stand the radical left. Dude, she hit him. From all the reports, I guess the body cam footage is out. Well, I can't wait to see the footage for myself. We'll see how delusional you guys in the chat are, saying that she was turning to the right. I'm sorry, he got hit. The dude got hit. Snooze brain, you look pretty. You look like a leftist, and that's okay, man. Be a leftist. Do what you got to do. My opinions are gospel. My opinions are sexy. Everybody loves my opinions. Guys, don't forget to vote in the poll, by the way. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. More simps we have, the better. We're going to do, I'm going to pace around a little bit. Oh, I need to stand up. My feet are getting a little cold. It's a little cold out here. It is fun to hang out in the park, though. I really do enjoy, like, creeping around in the park a little bit. I'm so divisive. Oh, how am I divisive, you guys? Tell me how I'm divisive. Keep telling me how divisive I actually am. Look, my opinion, honestly, I still don't believe she deserves to die, but she did use her car as a weapon. He did not. I still don't think the ICE officer should have drew his weapon. I'm still not a fan of that. Case closed. I think both were in the wrong. That's all. I think she was in the wrong. I think he was in the wrong. Case closed. Case closed, man. I solved the case. Cynthia Davis says, shouldn't you bring people together? It's not up to me to bring you guys together. It's not up to me. Why is it my responsibility to unite the world? How about each individual tries to look within themselves to be a better person? That will unite the world. If everybody just fucking focused on their own shit, like focused on their own lives, trying to better themselves, that's the key. Get better. Be better morally. Be better skillfully. Learn a few things. I mean, that's the beauty of the world, man, is learning. Learning is the key, right? And yeah, I'm an individualist, straight up. I believe that the individual matters quite a bit. I believe the collective is stupid. I believe teamwork is dumb. Yeah. I never learned to lose weight. I'm a big boy, though. I mean, I have turned my pecs. My pecs are firm. But yeah, no, overall, I think, after watching a lot of these videos, a lot of different camera angles, it's like, it was pretty obvious that she was using the car as a weapon. Now, I don't agree with what I don't agree with the ICE agent. Absolutely, I don't. I can't. It's just not something I can agree with. Well, I don't know if we're going to get 100 votes, and my feet are a little tired. We had a good walk. Thank you guys for joining in on the show. Does anybody have any last super chats or gifts that they want to throw my way on this one? Snooze Brain, do you want to give Daddy a super chat? Denise, do you want to give Daddy a super chat? That dude, do you want to give Daddy a super chat? Hey, whoa, Frog Eat Frog, hold on. I'll stay a little longer because I see Frog Eat Frog in the house. So Frog Eat Frog is saying, Garza, don't sugar it up for these pokes. That dumbass used her vehicle to try to unalive a federal officer. FAFO. It sucks. I wish she didn't do it, but damn, yep. Frog Eat Frog, baby. Dude, I'm not that fat, dude. Look at this. I got good pecs. I'm also a tall dude. I'm like 6'2". I'm 6'2", bro. I'm a battering ram, man. So I'm a creeper. Nah, I love hanging out in the park, though, dude. No, it's great. I pretty much just find a little secluded area like this, and I do my show here at the park. You know, not all the time, but it's fun to do one of these shows here. Garza Reed for fuck's sake. All right, you guys. I'm going to head out, though. It's good talking to you guys. I appreciate y'all. And just have an incredible rest of the day, okay? Peace out. A-Town down. Later, guys. Don't forget to super chat, by the way.